Today, Khanewal is a sprawling agricultural hub and the 36th largest city in Pakistan. But the land it sits on was originally known as the Gunji Bar. Before the river Ravi settled into its current path, this area was a hostile, elevated wasteland of shifting sand dunes and scrub brush. Local historians still debate how anyone actually ended up living here. There are four competing theories: a Khan tribe fleeing highway robbers, a stranded tax collector named Ziyadat Khan, a natural watering hole called the Khanewal Pond, or an old woman named Khani Mai running a tiny mud hut motel. These stories aren't accounts of people settling a land, they are accounts of people surviving it. Not one of these origins describes a destination. Early Khanewal was simply a waypoint. It was a necessary survival checkpoint for trade caravans making the long, exhausting trek between Multan and Lahore. For centuries, the identity of this patch of dirt was defined by the people passing through. That state of transience would have continued indefinitely if a massive technological intervention hadn't forced the region to finally stand still. In 1858, British colonial engineers arrived in the Bar. They needed a direct route for the new Northwestern Railway, and this flat, empty expanse of desert offered a blank canvas. Khanewal was designated as the primary junction. It became the vital connective node linking Karachi to Peshawar. Then came the second phase of engineering. In 1913, the British completed the Lower Bari Doab Canal, carving massive artificial rivers directly through the arid landscape. This collision of iron and water meant the barren soil could finally be put to work. This land was soon yielding massive amounts of cotton, establishing the region as a primary agricultural engine for the British Raj. This sudden prosperity built a highly structured settlement. Pre-partition Khanewal was laid out in a precise 16-block grid. At every fourth block, a communal well served a population where Muslims, Hindus, and Sikhs lived side by side among mosques, gurdwaras, temples, and a newly built church. The colonial infrastructure worked. It took a transient desert pit stop and artificially anchored it into a prosperous, harmonious cultural crossroads. By the summer of 1947, the political climate of the subcontinent fractured. Even as late as August, many residents in Khanewal assumed the partition was a temporary political dispute that would blow over in a few weeks. It didn't. The resulting borderlines forced an immediate demographic swap. The city's minority Hindu and Sikh populations fled for India, while thousands of desperate Muslim refugees poured in to take their place. The same railway junction that was built to bring steady economic prosperity became the central artery for a traumatic migration. The city's physical identity was quickly overwritten by the newcomers. Within years, Nanak Bazaar was renamed Liaquat Bazaar. The old central round gardens were leveled to the ground. Entire neighborhoods of the 16-block era simply vanished from local memory. The iron tracks and the irrigation canals remained completely intact, but the city's original, diverse soul was replaced by the violent friction of a population forced to move. Today, Khanewal has fully absorbed those 1947 refugees. It stands as a powerful district capital, still driven by the massive agricultural output of its surrounding fields. If you walk through City Park, you can still find the old brick chimney of the BCGA factory, preserved as a silent monument to the industrial boom that built the town. Down on the streets, that history is more chaotic. As the population grew and cars replaced horse carts, the old communal wells, which used to be guarded by heavy chains, were paved over to create modern traffic roundabouts, locally known as chokes. These intersections are now the site of intense sectarian friction. Different Islamic groups aggressively lobby to claim and name these chowks after their own specific religious beliefs, turning basic road infrastructure into ideological turf. It's a stark contrast to the original 16-block grid, where different faiths quietly shared the exact same communal water sources. A chowk is a place where different paths are forced to collide. In Khanewal, that physical reality mirrors the sociological mindset of the people living around it. Khanewal began as a desert pit stop and was engineered into a permanent industrial junction. Now it stands as an ideological one, a city that mirrors the complex and often fractured identity of modern Pakistan.